Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Atlantic Bushcraft Adventures, episode 340. And we're bringing Steve back on to have a little chat with us. And some of you may remember we had Steve on in the past, most recently when he was doing his, it's not silviculture, help me with it here, Steve.
Silvotherapy.
Silvotherapy, thank you. He had just been recently starting into that, and we had him on to get a little bit of info about that. Since then, he has continued to do that. He's also become quite the forager and explorer of mushrooms, as his namesake kind of implies. So we thought we'd drag him back on, see how he's been, and maybe talk a little bit about mushrooms, some about bushcraft. We'll see where the night takes us. So how's things been, Steve?
Excellent. Really good, man. Really great to see you guys. Good to see you again, Ben. It's you weren't here last time I was here talking silvotherapy, so it's great to be back with you, man. Yeah,
Thank
everything's
you.
been great. Really good. We're back in the woods, man. That's the main thing. It took a long time. I don't know about you, but it took me a while to get back into being in the woods because of the extended period we weren't. So getting back in, it's like I've been almost frantic up until the last couple weeks, just trying to get caught up on mushrooms that I would have for the winter. And I would have been gathering all summer, and like by August would have had my feet up and been good set. Stores are set for the winter. So this time it was almost October before I could even get into the woods and get looking. And I had a really great summer of sharing mushrooms too, right? So when the Woods band came on, it actually landed on my birthday, and I was packing to go for an overnighter on my birthday. I was going out solo, and then that afternoon the Woods band dropped, so I was like, "Oh, not doing that." But I spent a lot of time at the beach all summer anyway, so that was nice. But yeah, the mushrooms, just trying to get after them, get them restocked. I shared a lot over the summer, like I said, because I have always meter out how much I got, how much I'm going to need to get me through to the next time I'm going to see that mushroom. And I was in good shape, and then depleted my stores. Then the woods ban hit, and I've been scrambling to get caught up, man.
Yeah, because I know the last time you and I had met up, we had chatted about a little bit. You set me up with some tinctures to try. Just for anybody that wasn't aware, I actually went back and found the real number. Should have done this first. Steve joined us back here on episode 268. That's when we first interviewed him. Then we had him back on again for 282. And we were talking about the silvotherapy then. That's the one that Ben had missed. Ben had been here for the original interview. So he's not completely in the dark. Don't get me wrong. Ben and Steve have chatted several times before. But yeah, it's kind of been a good time. Glad to hear you got out there. I know us over here on the East Coast, we were definitely affected pretty hard with that wood shutdown. Ben, on the other hand, he didn't have anything like that. He got to be over there, get spoiled. He sent me, every now and then the na-na-na-na-na, and it was kind of nice. You actually managed to get out quite a bit this year, though, didn't you, Ben? You had some family trips and stuff like that. You enjoyed the woods this year.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I always could do more. I always look at it and think, man, I've missed out on weekends I could have done, but something came up or whatnot. But yeah, no, I got out for a few trips. Me and my wife had a solo trip, which was really cool, for a week over the summer. So yeah, and we got 2 weeks planned for next year. So like we're already figuring out what can we do, how we're gonna do it. So yeah, I think we're gonna boondock for like 2 weeks. We haven't decided where, but the idea and the equipment is all being arranged now, and then we just need to map it out. So,
Nice. So let's kind of jump into the right meat and potatoes of this, I guess. I did kind of drag Steve on here. The suggestion was we're going to talk a little bit about mushrooms. We are going to talk about some other stuff, but let's head down that mushroom road. And I know that Ben and I, we both experiment a little with apps and books and identifying and stuff like that. But Steve is actually to the point now where he is harvesting and making his own tonics and stuff like that for his consumption to better your health. And things like that. So tell us a little bit about that, Steve. Once again, first disclaimer, sorry, Steve. We are talking about our experiences. We do not recommend anyone goes out and harvest mushrooms and things like that without the proper training, and ideally having somebody there as a guide to show you what is safe and what is not, much as what I'm trying to do with Steve. I'm trying to line up with him at some point so he can take me out, and then I have that chaperone. That is kind of the safest way to go. That aside, how's mushrooming been this year, Steve?
I just want to say it's really great to have somebody with you to slap that mushroom out of your hand and be like, not that one, right? When you do it like I've been doing it, pretty much solo, learning and moving forward, I've done myself some harm a couple times with just mistakes, right? So you've got to be so careful, man.
It
Even in because the tea and tincture thing I've been doing that right from the get-go. That was basically I had first learned about chaga, and a friend had taught me a lot about chaga, so I started seeing that in the woods. But then I moved on to like birch polypore was the next one I started looking at, and when I started looking at that and learning about it, great, easy to identify, harvested it, and I went right to making decoctions with it, and boiling it up and trying the tea, right, and it was like ungodly bitter, so bitter, but I was quite determined at the time. I had the sense that this stuff was going to help my health. And like you said, personal experience only. I don't encourage anybody to take my word for anything. I'm just some guy who spent too much time learning about mushrooms for a few years, right? But as I went, I learned literally when I started, I got an app when I first noticed mushrooms. And the first mushroom I tried to identify with that app said it was a Russula species. It was perfectly edible. I was like, oh, wow, that's great, right? My first mushroom, and it's an edible one. And then I happened to start referencing things and looking other places. And no, it was the sickener, man. It was going to make you awful sick, right? And I'm like, delete the app. The apps are good when you have knowledge under your belt and you're looking for further clues. You already have a good idea what you're looking at. Then an app's helpful. An app, to me, if you have no experience, is pretty dangerous, man. It's all about the books.
Oh, 100%. Now, you did say that, and forgive me if you don't want to go down this path, but you did say that you made yourself sick a couple times. Do you mind talking about what it actually did to you?
Okay, so
You know
yeah,
what I
and
mean?
it
Just
took
to
me
let people know
twice
what.
because it took me 2 times because I had to figure out what happened. I
And
wasn't
try to see
sure.
mushroom
Had to
twice, make
validate
sure it
your
was right.
parking.
For me, and everybody reacts differently to this stuff. So for me, you should always only ever try like a tiny amount. If you're gonna try something like this, try go very small first. Because if you're gonna have a bad reaction, you want as little of that stuff in you as possible, man. So for me, it was undehydrated mushrooms. I had seen YouTube videos of people picking a mushroom like a birch polypore straight off a tree, throwing it in a pot, slicing it up, throwing it in a pot, boiling it for a little bit, and drinking the water, right? So I thought, all right, that seems fine. I had heard about dehydrating the mushrooms first. So I did that, sliced a birch polypore up fresh off the tree, threw it in a pot, boiled it, drank it. So the first warning sign was I started burping eggs, and I haven't had eggs in weeks, right? I was like, uh-oh, something ain't right, right? And I got basically 14 hours of gastrointestinal distress. I wasn't throwing up, but there was awful things happening, man. And it was pain, crippling cramps, and awful experience. So that was fine. Was like, wow, what a strange reaction I had, right? Then
Went back for
um,
seconds.
I was like, okay, I'm off the birch polypores for a little bit, right? It was bad. And then the second time I did it, it was turkey tail that I had used, but it was the same thing. I didn't dehydrate it, picked it off a tree, brought it home, threw it in a pot, decocted it, drank the liquid, and same idea, right? By the next morning, it was like floodgates. I'm curled up in a ball, wishing for mercy, right? And running to the bathroom every literally 15 minutes, and just horrible experience, man. When they say gastrointestinal distress, they mean distress. Right?
It's
It
not
ain't good.
minor. So, what
It's
is it
not
about
minor.
the dehydration that stops the
I don't
process,
know
or
what
what?
it is. For me, I think it's a for me thing more than anything. For me, the dehydrating, when anything's dehydrated and I decoct it, it's good. I don't
Hmm.
know what the difference is. I've seen people do it without and have no side effects. For me, I have side effects. So that's one of the keys to learning about and using these mushrooms is you have to learn what it is with you, right? Because what happened to me may never happen to you. And what doesn't happen to me with a different mushroom might put you down, right? So
No,
it's
absolutely.
all
I've
about
tried the
personal
birch polypore,
experience.
just like you said. Pulled it off a tree, threw it in a pot, boiled it up. Maybe I had a smaller amount. I found it bitter as hell, but other than that, I mean, I guess truth be told, my mouth tingled a little, but I think that's just because of how bitter it was, or at least that's what I told myself. But only ever tried it a couple times in small amounts. Much like you said, I wasn't 100% sure, so instead of using, a great big mushroom, I found a little one, cut it up into little spots, brewed a little tea, and thought, okay, we'll see how this goes. And I like you said, I guess, if you've ever drank chaga straight without any kind of sweetener or something in it, it's bitter. Polypore was worse.
Way worse. I
Way
find
worse.
chaga more changes the texture of the water rather than imparts a flavor to it.
Okay.
I find chaga to be the lightest of all all the ones you're going to make a tea out of, and they get exceedingly worse from there, basically.
Oh, 100%. What about you, Ben? Have you actually tried, like, I know we have talked about it over the app and stuff like that, just identifying. Have you ever tried brewing a tea or something out of a mushroom, or are you still a little leery on that?
Chaga I've done for sure. I've done a ton of chaga. Not so much a tea, but as a chicken of the woods, we found that and cooked that up. I really enjoyed that. Other than that, I've been somewhat leery. I think we found some chandrels. Those were pretty good. But no, I've been using the app to get a ballpark of what it could be, and then I generally go back to my books and I research on it. So oftentimes, like, what did I find? I found something the other day. I had some pile of it too. I was like 99% sure what it was. And the two guys with me were like, nope, not trying it, not trying it. And I was like, it broke my heart. Because I know, like, I got pictures of it, I'll show you someday. But I had like a big Ziploc bag full of this stuff. Like, I walked by it on the trail in Algonquin. And I was like, I took double take of it. I'm not sure if it wasn't was it oysters? But yeah, I took a double take of it. I was like, damn, I think that is. And so I grabbed it and I went back and I was talking to my buddies and they're like, I'm not risking it. I'm not trying it. So I think we ended up throwing it out, unfortunately, but it was huge. It was massive.
That's
That's
too
so
bad. But
synchronous, man. That's exactly what happened to me last week. Like mushrooms have a way of humbling you, and the moment you start to think you know something, there's a curveball, man. I had the
And
exact same thing. I was at work, showed up in this lady's yard, and her tree was polluted with what I thought were late fall oysters. And I was like, "What?" I was stunned, right? My goodness, look at the mushrooms on your tree. It was covered. And she's like, "Oh, are they good?" I'm like, "Yeah, they're choice edible mushroom, right? They're late fall oysters." So that was great. She's like, "Oh, by all means, help yourself," right? I was like, "Really? I'm not gonna, I don't have a container. I'll come back after work," right? She was great. So I came back after work. I didn't harvest a lot because I hadn't tried them yet, but I harvested probably 8 good sized mushrooms, got them
yeah,
home, checked on the wife. Okay, how far along supper? I'm going to eat some of these mushrooms, right? And I cleaned them all up and looked, and oh no, supper's only a few minutes out. I'll wait till after supper. Happened to sit down in front of the laptop before supper and started looking again. Gee, right? What do late fall oysters look like? Started looking, and I'm like, no, that's not what I got, right? What is this? So then big mystery starts, and you're trying to figure it out. It turned out to be oysters, right? But Pleurotus austriatus, the winter oyster, not late fall oyster. So
still an edible mushroom?
still edible, still choice. Not for me that time, right? Once
actually, I
I saw
remember what it
that it
was now.
wasn't. Pardon?
Bear's tooth. Like, it looks like
Bear's
lion's
head
mane.
tooth hericium is out right now. Yeah,
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 that's what
and
we
it's
found in
amazing.
Algonquin, and
Oh my god, that's
it
amazing. Yeah.
it was head size. Like,
Yeah. No, that if you ever see that again, Ben, pick it and eat it. Right? Fry it, get it right into a frying pan.
Don't
It
even
is so
double
good.
check, Ben. Just eat it.
No, because
no, because
your
all of those style are
Hericium species, all the tentacles will face downward.
yeah.
Coral species, the tentacles are upward. So if you've got the downward ones, bear's head tooth has kind of like lobes on it.
Yeah.
Whereas they're all Hericium species, but it's bear's head tooth, lion's mane, and the coral tooth, Hericium coralloides. So those are all amazing mushrooms. West Coast, there's another one that I'm not familiar with.
I thought it was lion's mane when I found it, and I
Yeah.
remember it. And it was, I had a book in my pack because we were on a 5-6 day trip through Algonquin, and yeah, I pulled it out and I'm looking at it and I'm like, I walked back half a kilometer to get this thing, and it was one of our last nights in. So like, even if I get sick, it's not that, like, I could see where the car was parked where we camped,
Nice.
and I could make. But yeah, it's like they said, it's not worth getting sick, and so we didn't. But yeah, so I've experimented a bit, but not nearly as much as I'd like to. Maybe if Steve, if you're bored and you want to come out on the West Coast, we'll grab the camper and go check a few things out. I got a few places we can hit up.
Yeah, right on. I'm always game, man. I wish we had the kind of freedom where we could do that. Instead, we got jobs, right? Like, where
I mean,
the AI to sweep in with robots. AI robots, come do my job. I'm gonna travel and look at mushrooms.
yeah,
Right?
I'll be in the woods if you need me, but please
Yeah,
don't call.
yeah, exactly.
So, coming from somebody that has a little bit more experience than Ben and I at this point, we're going to call you the subject matter expert for the sake of tonight's episode. Where's a good place for people to start? Like, now that you have the experience, what would you have done differently starting off? What's advice you would give to people wanting to learn?
Start with the first mushroom you see. Focus on it alone until you've learned everything you think you know about that mushroom before you even look at another mushroom. Right? There's so many mushrooms that I think the biggest trip up they have is when they start looking, they try to look at everything. I made the same mistake, and I'm looking at everything and you get so confused. That's why I lean towards polypores and mushrooms on trees, man. And that limited. And then once you refine your search down to like, okay, what is here in Nova Scotia? You're down to like a dozen mushrooms, right? A manageable amount of mushrooms. And I by no means learned all them at once. Like I said, I started with chaga, then birch polypore, and learned everything I thought I could about each of them before I moved on and incorporated the next one. Did it step by step, right? And that made it so that right now I'll look at just about everything, but all the time my kids are like, what's that mushroom? No idea, right? If it's got gills and it's on the ground, I probably don't know, right? There's a couple I do know, right? Like I know my chanterelles enough to harvest and eat. I know my hedgehogs now enough to harvest and eat. Not that we've had any of those in the last couple seasons, but right, it's been poor. But outside of that, these oysters, I have harvested and ate Pleurotus ostrigatus once before, but not in the fall. I remember getting them in the spring. So it's like, wow, so weird to see them in the fall, but that would have been like my third other mushroom that I'm using to eat that I've ever encountered to eat. I stay away from the stuff with gills, man.
Yeah, I was going to say the gill things do get a little tricky. I guess follow-up question. What's your favorite method of consumption? Is it tea, tincture, tincture? Oh, man. Never have dyslexia, guys. It screws you all up.
So my way, I first starting out with each of the mushrooms I use, I decocted it first, made a tea out of it, right? Tried a tiny amount, just a couple spoonfuls, right? Got to taste with it, connect with it, then observe for 24 hours, see what your body does, how you react. Does your mouth tingle? Does your throat burn, right? Did your tummy rumble, right? All that stuff before committing to like a 2-cup serving of decoction is what I usually take. And I do that about every 3 days. Twice a week, I'd like to get a decoction into me. The tincture I do daily, right? So every day I'm taking 4 mils, what I'll say mils of tincture, but whatever the dropper picks up, I'll take 4 cracks of that, 2 in the morning, 2 at night, right? And but I find the tea has more immediate results, right? Like if I have some Hericium coralloides that I harvested last year around this time, and I still have some of that dehydrated. When I put that in my tea, my brain fog is gone for 3 days straight, right? Like you can see the lines, everything's clear, right? You don't feel, however old you are, you feel like, right, you're sharp as a tack, man. And those immediate effects I find I get out of the decoction, out of the tea. The tincture, you understand you're messing with yourself more on a cellular level at that point. So you're helping you're still doing all the same benefits. Your immune system's getting all kinds of help, your gut's getting help, but there's more cellular stuff going on at that level. because the compounds in mushrooms are extracted through water and through alcohol. So the tincture gives you, I do a dual extract tincture. It's all bootleg stuff. I'm not licensed to make this stuff. I make it for myself and give it to my friends, right? It's not something I sell
we're
or
not
anything. Right.
Fair point. Where you are not distributing it or selling it, you are still operating within the confines of the law. If anybody out
Oh
there is
yeah,
wondering.
absolutely. Like I say bootleg operation, but I say that about everything.
So just to confirm, and to clarify for folks out there, so tincture, you're basically, and I'm not going to give the process here, but you're extracting via another substance, generally alcohol or something with a very low evaporation point. And decocting, that's basically just boiling it.
Right, that's making a tea. Decocting, when you say a tea, you would simmer, right? Like, or a tea, you would steep, right? So if you have one of those David's tea infusers and you boil your water, put all the hot water and your ingredients in the cup, let it steep. That's tea. Decocting is simmering for 30 minutes, right? I bring the water to a boil, throw the mushrooms in, turn it down to simmer, let it go at least 30 minutes. That's a decoction.
So decocting, will it kill a lot of the, like, I know some people, and myself included at some levels, all the things you may not be able to wash out of the mushrooms, like any residual residues that may be on it, any of the little creepy crawlies and stuff like that. It's basically going to break all that stuff down and make it inert anyway. I mean, you're boiling it for 30 minutes. Even if there was a bug in there, it's not going to hurt you.
No, that's right. Yeah.
Just to clarify for folks, because that's the number one thing I get. You know what I mean? Like, Ben and people have probably seen us reach into some questionable water to boil the stuff up, and they're like, well, what about the stuff that's in it? Once you boil it long enough, what about it? Honestly, protein.
True. Very true. I'm pretty careful with my mushrooms. It's pretty amazing. Like a lot of these mushrooms will have slug damage on the outside. Slug will take a couple bites out of it type of thing. But when you get cutting into them and slicing them up, I'm always watching for worms or any holes, right? Anywhere that something's bored into it and try to find that thing. It's pretty rare to find anything in them, man. Like they're just, I don't know if they're too bitter for bugs or what.
They've been around for an awful long time. So for them to survive, they have some defense mechanism. I mean, mushrooms aren't viable for a long period of time, are they? Like they blossom and for the bloom, whatever, they flower for a short period of time and they start to break down pretty quickly. So your window is pretty.
Yeah, in most cases they do, right? Your window's within a couple weeks usually, right? From the time a mushroom flushes, it's popped up until you can go back and get it. Like I don't usually wait for mushrooms to get bigger, right? There's no, oh, I saw it today, I'll come back in a few days, see if it got bigger. No, it's mush in a few days, right? Except for the polypores. Yeah. The polypores are annual and will overwinter, and every season that they grow, they add a ring, right? Like a tree. So you can kind of guesstimate from the size of the mushroom how old it is.
Yeah, and chaga is another one that's long term. Like chaga basically grows till the tree dies and then it releases a spore. So that one's a bit different too, but most of your more soft, fleshy ones, they have a very short lifespan. And correct me if I'm wrong on this, I also been told that you really want to wait till like a day after rain or something, because they'll come out after that moisture, right? So if you have a dry spirit, you probably won't have a ton of mushrooms. And it'll rain, you go out a few days later and it's just they're everywhere, right?
Yeah, and that's exactly what we experienced here, right? Like when it actually did start raining again, the little light rains didn't really do much, but after a good pounding heavy rain, if you get out within a couple days of that, you're gonna start finding things. And I found it took a couple of those before I started really seeing things popping up, man.
I'm starting to see a lot around my hunting blind and stuff now. They're just coming out everywhere.
Right. All kinds popping everywhere.
You guys were so dry. I mean, probably the first heavy rain just got sucked completely up. Like it
literally really hit the ground, ran off. It was so hard. The rain we had never even went into the ground. Like I have on the property, not going to get into that, but there was an old swamp in behind that where water runs down. It was dry. Ground was cracked. We had what I thought was a heavy rain, so I went down to see how it was doing. Still 100% dry. It all just sheeted off and it was gone. It took like 60 mils of rain to start affecting that.
Yeah, because ground, almost protects itself. The way it hardens, traps some moisture underneath. And of course, everything is living. When it hits again, that harden try to prevent moisture from going out, also prevents moisture from going in. And it just happens. So it is the way it is, right? So yeah, no, it's something I really want to get more into. But I think what you guys are saying too is caution, right? Like, don't just jump in and say, "Oh, it's a mushroom." And we kind of made a joke, or not a joke, but a comment before we went live, that the majority of mushrooms are probably safe to eat, but that doesn't mean you want to risk it, right?
The old saying is all mushrooms are edible at least once.
Once.
Yeah, exactly.
Some of them it's only once, because there is some very poisonous mushrooms out there. And I know a lot of folks think, not in my neck of the woods, but we have some pretty powerfully poisonous mushrooms here, like mint. Getting away from mushrooms, but I'm more familiar with mint. We have like 3 different types of mint in Nova Scotia, and one can paralyze your lungs. They all smell the same, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the one I'm familiar with. I'm sure Steve would be able to give an example for a mushroom that would do something as equally as terrible.
Yeah, mint is one of the first things I tried in the woods on my own.
99% of the time, it's perfectly fine. And I can tell you what it looks like and where to find it. It's generally going to be around watery areas. So if you find mint that's like in a real watery area, that's when I tend to get very leery about it.
I think it was like a spearmint, and the leaves look like a spear. And my grandmother showed me it, and she's like, "Yeah," and you squeeze it, and it has that mint smell to it. But I mean, we'd eat 1 or 2 leaves, but if you gathered enough, you could make a good tea or something out of it. So I know. I think we all have our first, then blueberries. I mean, my goodness, the amount of blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, partridge berries we ate growing up was unreal. So,
and other berries that maybe you shouldn't eat, but
what?
Oh, I ate anything when I was a kid. I don't get this size by not eating stuff, Ben. I can't remember how many times I got sick off eating things I shouldn't have eaten. Anyway, one last thing I want to talk about with Steve, just because we are coming up on the 27-minute mark here. We did talk a little bit about in the last episode your civotherapy. How are things going that direction for you? Still enjoying it? Still expanding? Maybe like what's that all about?
We've kind of got into a bit of a vacuum on the silvotherapy thing. It turns out and I never intended. I took that training to take on that experience myself.
Oh, absolutely. That's why I hope I'm not putting you on the spot about it.
What I was doing, it was having an effect on me and my health and my well-being. And this course popped up, and I got to take it and become certified as a forest therapy practitioner, which was awesome. But it turns out not a lot of people want to go sit in the woods and do nothing. Right? It's a tough sell when you're trying to explain this. Like, we get it, right? You've been there and done it, Ben. You get it too. There's nothing better for us than sitting in the woods and doing nothing. That's exactly what my goal is, right? Have a nice bite to eat, kick back, do nothing for as long as you can, right? And just breathe it all in and take it home with you is what I do.
Just right? Watching nature.
To laymen's that are not into it, it's like getting people excited about going to see something, and it's a big mossy rock in the woods, right? To some people.
I can imagine. You must go through this. I go through it a lot. People hear that, oh, you're into going into woods and doing this stuff, and like, yeah. Well, you should take us. And I'm like, oh, I could do that. And then you start describing what you need to do. And well, could we do like a light version of that? And I'm like, no. There's no medium. There's
that
no
is the light version of that.
Like, I am going into the woods. Like, you need a pack. You're gonna probably want some sleep system, and but where's the bathroom? You're not getting a bathroom. Can I wash my hair? There's a river there. Good luck with it. And they're like, but yeah, a lot of people think, oh, I camp, and they're in like, a provincial campground with showers and electricity and 45 people within a couple of 100 feet of you. And it's like, that's not my outdoors, So
no, mine's ideally alone when I can get it. Right? That's my preferred state. I was just telling somebody yesterday, I was sitting alone. Oh no, you got to come sit with us. You can't sit alone. And well, that's kind of my preferred state of being, but all right.
I think a lot of us that enjoy the woods are kind of loners or small groupish. Quick message from, and we have Danny and Eric joining us here in the comments. Danny, I recently started looking more into nature therapy. It's actually pretty amazing how a simple walk can help relax the mind so much. And this is why I'm a little surprised at what you said there, Steve. It's actually becoming, and maybe it's just local because I'm in a rural area, but a lot of the elementary schools that are in the rural areas that have the availability to walk around in the woods are incorporating it into a lot of their learning structures. They want the students to get out there and just be at peace to a little bit of a degree. Disconnect from all the technology, get away from all the noise, get away from the institutionalized setting, get them out in the woods, sit them down, and just be like, enjoy. Just sit quietly, listen to the wind in the trees, look at some animals, maybe, do some bark shading, draw something, just sit, be at peace, do something to make you happy. And I was really surprised because it was not long after you and I had done the talk about it that Melissa comes home and is like, oh yeah, Lily's going off into psychotherapy. And I'm like, you're screwing with me. You just heard the podcast. She's like, oh, no. It's a real thing in the schools. And I looked into it, and sure enough, and at least the ones here in my area, it's a fairly big, it's an incorporated part of it.
Yeah, I follow the one in your area, and it's amazing, man. Right? I see every day the stuff they do, and it's really good. And
just
that's
saying, you're in the wrong area, Steve. You got to come down here, bud.
Right. I get that from kids a lot. It's a lot of time kids and like teenagers that are like, I want to go with you in the woods, right? But they are keenly interested, even more so than an adult. Adults think they know stuff, whereas kids, if it's something they haven't experienced, they're kind of open to it, right? But can't get my own kids to go. I've got split the difference.
Because you
I got
take
one
it
that
home.
wants to go
That's
every
the
time,
difference.
and
You
one
take it
not so
home.
much. So, yeah.
I have and maybe I'm going philosophical at the end here, but I have a theory on this. Kids and stuff enjoy doing that stuff more than adults because they still find it new and interesting. You ever notice that as you get older, time seems to go by faster? My theory on this is because you're basically on cruise control for your life. You've already taken in so much information, your brain automatically fills in the gaps, tells you what you're supposed to expect. You kind of zone out before you know it, the end of the day's there. If you have an empty bucket, it's really hard to predictably overflow it. So kids and stuff, they get out there, and yeah, in the woods for an adult, if you've had a bad experience, that's kind of what you default to. Oh yeah, the bugs were bad, it was humid, the rain was down, blah, 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 blah. Kids, 90% of that doesn't affect them. And 2, they haven't actually experienced it yet. And especially with younger children, like around Lily's age, if you can take a bad experience and turn it into a good experience, you can almost set the tone for the rest of their lives and how they're going to act in it. And that's kind of what I'm hoping that they're doing with the schools and stuff there. Yeah, Danny, slow down and look up, or just look around. It's amazing what just goes on around you. I know Ben down here, and he can talk to it a little bit more. Your tracking course with the pie plate.
Yeah.
You know the story better than I do.
Yeah, so we took a tracking course with a guy named Spruce. And that was his real name. I don't know if he was born with that name, but he lived by that name. And this guy was quite the character. And he took a pie plate and he cut a 1 inch square in the middle of the pie plate, and he brought you out into a field, a parking lot, wherever. It didn't matter to him. And you toss that pie plate out, and wherever it lands, you go and you sit on the ground and you look through that 1 square inch of pie plate, and you're supposed to mark down, draw everything you see. And that 1 square inch of mass, like that land of 1 square inch, holds so much more detail than you expect. Right? So the world is vast and amazing, and right down to the micro level, it is amazing. And if you're doing tracking, like, it's as little as how sand gets compacted versus how it would sit naturally, how like a piece of grass can have a break in it, where if you're looking at the big picture, you just see grass. Now you're trying to focus on the extreme detail. And kind of go back to something you were talking about, cruise control. Have you ever walked into a brand new building, never been in there before, like a new mall or a new business or something that you've never been to? And it's almost overwhelming. Like, there's so much sensory overload. But then you keep going back. Like I think about some of the works. I've worked in big hangars, like aircraft hangars, with thousands of things. And the first time you go in is like too much, and you leave and you're almost exhausted from the few moments you were there. But then later you go back and you don't see all that stuff because your brain's already seen it, it's registered, and it's like, yes, that's there. It hasn't changed. There's nothing to notice here, right? But to learn the picture detail and stuff like that with tracking, for instance, or forging, noticing the little details, the little changes, the subtleties, is oftentimes the difference between finding what you're looking for and finding absolutely nothing. You know, you can easily look across a piece of land, like right behind me, there's forest. And if you just see the fallen leaves, you'll never see the fungus. Right? But if you start to pay attention, you realize that it's hidden amongst the foliage that's sitting there, the foliage. And you know, it's just easy to just sort of make it all as one picture, and to break it down to its individual elements takes a lot more brain power and thought. So
And see, we can bring things all the way around. We're back.
That leads perfectly into a plug for my daily videos. That's exactly the point, Ben, of my daily videos that I upload every day. It's giving you 30 seconds to zoom in and slow down, man. Because the closer you get to something, the slower everything goes, right? So when you're looking at that little bit of stream that I've captured, I've gotten real close to that, right? And just spent 30 seconds just observing that. And I always think of it as like witnessing the intelligence of, right? Witnessing the intelligence of this stream, and just breathe and give yourself a minute and time will slow down, right? And I practice that. There's a driving practice I did at one time to slow time, where when you're flying down the highway doing 110 kilometers per hour, focus as closely as you can on the center hash marks, right? The white lines in the center, and try to actually see details in those and watch how slow time goes for you. Because when you're driving, you're using like your floodlight consciousness. You're aware of so many things all at once, but you're able to hold a conversation with the person sitting next to you, right? You're on cruise control. Your brain is on cruise control in one aspect, but you can also be focused in the other. If you can jam that focus in on something specific, or I sometimes too trying to see people's faces on the other side of the highway when they're going by, that'll slow things down, man. It's true.
And the last comment from the comments here, Danny. Yes, most people walking through the woods rush too fast and don't look up at all, just down and straight ahead. That's what we mean. It's cruise control mentality. You don't see the forest through the trees.
I'm like a 5 steps, look around for a while. 5 more steps, look around, right? Like, and going where my attention's drawn, right? As I'm walking through the woods, I'm never going fast. But if something catches my eye, oh, there's a birch polypore over there. I'm going to go see what else is there now, right? And just that's how I maneuver through the woods.
Go ahead, Ben. You were about to say something.
No, I was just taking it in. I was taking it all in.
All right, fair enough. So that's about 37 minutes in. I think that's a good place to end her up here for tonight. Little over, but that's okay. We appreciate the guest coming on here, Steve. Once again, if you haven't checked out his YouTube channel, that's TheDriftingSpore. Do you got a Facebook page? I know you have a personal account, but do you have the...
Yep, I don't have a professional account. I've left Facebook. I upload the same stuff there. And if you go on my Facebook, you'll see that it is, everything on there is public, right? Pretty much, except for the odd personal thing that's for family, right? The Instagram is wide open. It's all public. And the TikTok is wide open. It's all public. So you can catch all the daily videos on either of those platforms.
Perfect. That's what I
got. And the YouTube, of course, is I'm back in my groove of at least getting out once a week and having a video up on YouTube. So that's nice to get back into that routine, man.
So once again, be sure to check out Steve, the Drifting Spore, all one word. Also, thanks for joining us here in the comments. We had Eric and Danny join us. Danny Red Sand Adventures. Once again, you can look at his YouTube page, Facebook page. And if you have any interest or questions or things like that, I'm sure you can post them up on our channel, either be it the Facebook, the YouTube, whatever. Steve, we can pass them along to him, or better yet, go check out his stuff like we just said and post it directly to him. I'm sure he would appreciate the nod. And Steve's a pretty good guy. If you're not on the video side of things here watching with us, you're really missing out. Pretty mellow dude, full of information, really laid back, and a voice like an angel, just like us.
Not quite so handsomely bearded, though.
Oh God, this is getting out of control here, man. I was looking at that video
He's
I put
going
up
for the
today.
dual braids soon. He's gonna.
Seriously, the short I uploaded today, I watched it and it's like my sweater's on, it's all fluffed up. I'm like, I don't have a neck.
It was nice. It looked great, man.
Trail Explorers join us there too. Welcome to the show. If you were working in the shadow, sorry I didn't give you a shout out. Anyway, that's it for tonight. So from all of us here at Atlantic Bushcraft Adventures, the Drifting Spore, and Ben's new, well, not new, I guess you've had them for a little while now, but Ben's Canine Companion, we'll see you all next week. Have a good night, everybody.
Night all. Get out there. Have fun.